Ah, the great smell of a men's changing room, eh? And if you like the whiff of excitement, then hang on, because the next 40 minutes for you are going to be like a ride in Disney World, because our little saga of football in the 80s has arrived at season 82-83. And not that we knew it then, but it was an era of great changes. Not just directors' boxes, but on the field. Shirts, which had once looked like this, the only words on them being 100% cotton, boil at 70 degrees, now started to look like this. Weird incantations bearing much cash. And sooner or later, down this road, lay this sort of thing. But we're still a long way off from shirts going nuts. It is the summer of 1982, and somewhere out there, Graham Taylor is deeply in love with Elton John.
Yeah, Watford were in the First Division for the first time. And Graham, despite an apparent love of exotic drink, kept his football strictly meat and potatoes.
Football is a simple game. It's a game for the man on the terraces. So I just want to get excited about the whole thing. I hate sophisticated football.
Well, sophisticated Liverpool were out to defend the title with added emotion. Manager Bob Paisley was to retire at the end of the season. But not before witnessing the birth of the golden age of Ian Rush.
Ian Rush!
I watched Rush and thought, no pace, can't head it, can't score. They'll get rid of him at the end of the season, and shows you how good I am at being a judge.
Giants Manchester United, alright, slumbering Giants Manchester United, were without a trophy for 5 years. But they were starting to stir now.
Feeling great.
And they had an attractive squad under manager Big Ron Atkinson.
I think we're possibly going to become the best team in the country. And I don't mean that tongue-in-cheek.
An early test for Champagne United as they take on an Ipswich team under the gaze of the greatest Old Trafford artist of them all.
Wilkins. Coming up on the left is Arthur Albiston. And Mick Mills. And they got right side. Walk this time looks for Brazil. Burley. And Gates. Oh, McQueen, and put in by Mariner. Ipswich equalise. Albiston, Wilkins. And the shot was deflected off John Walker. There's a bit of trouble there, and a goal. Steve Coppell. Robson. Oh, I say there's a gap there. And Whiteside.
Whiteside's performance prompted predictable comparisons with fellow Irishman George Best.
When I first saw him, I thought the one thing that he needed was sharpening up. But the more I see him, he's obviously working on it, and he looks very sharp as well. For a big, strong lad, tremendous.
Apart from both of us coming from Belfast, apart from both of us being spotted by Bob Bishop, the scout, apart from both of us going to Manchester United, apart from both of us playing for Northern Ireland, apart from both of us liking a drink, we've absolutely nothing in common at all.
Liverpool travelled to the Vetchfield to take on Swansea City, who are still fanning the embers of their top-flight dream. Rush & Co, as ever, were to be the wake-up call.
Kennedy. Dalglish. Kennedy. Oh, back off Davis and touched in by Ian Rush. Now Souness. Low in again for Kennedy, that's dangerous, and pulled back for Rush to turn in number 2. From a very good ball by Dalglish. Dalglish off the chest to Johnston. 3-0, and it's now becoming very embarrassing for Swansea.
The transfer coup of the season saw Tyneside welcome a future messiah.
Some fans had queued since 2 o'clock this morning to share in the Geordie football revolution, and there was absolutely no doubt who they'd come to see.
I'm at the stage in my career, I'm 31 years of age. The World Cup was very disappointing for me, and I think, and Southampton agreed, that I need a new challenge.
You're just too good to be
One spectator remained underwhelmed, the New England boss Bobby Robson, who flatly snubbed Keegan when he named his first squad.
What upset me was the way I heard about it. I mean, a 10p phone call from the FA is not a lot to ask.
OK, Kev.
And I found out it through you people, through the media.
OK, Kev.
And that's what annoyed me, about the fact I'm left out. I'm big enough to accept that.
OK, Kev, OK.
At 31, as I said, you
Kev.
know, the new manager, he's got new ideas.
All right, Kev,
But it's just the way I found out.
OK, all right,
annoying,
Kev.
you know.
But maybe the reason Robson had not spent that 10p was because he was skint. He was still taking the tube to the office.
We're up to the ideal home exhibition. No. You're going home, are you?
Marks and Sparks.
Oh, dear. Marks and Sparks.
And unfortunately, sadly, it got off to a bad start, and it went against us both, really, in many ways. It was rather sad, and, you know, he came out that Bob hadn't rang him and told him about it, and there's a point to that, I guess.
European Cup holders Aston Villa take on FA Cup holders Spurs at Villa Park, with referee Clive Thomas... Well, with referee Clive Thomas.
Was with foul, penalty.
Peter with his eyes tell the story. Yeah, right, ref, penalty.
And Gordon Cowans, who missed one last week at Norwich when he hit the post, tries to make up for that, and does. Oh, good running by Cowans. Number 2! And Gordon Cowans gets his second. Peter With on the chase. And Shaw, Gary Shaw, and Tony Morley. 3-0. Spurs are pulled apart now. Mortimer, surging run, Shaw's on the far side. Shaw! Brilliant goal!
Meanwhile, Villa's neighbours Birmingham have finally discovered why they're such a lousy side. There's a curse on their ground. Like everything, Ron Saunders takes it seriously.
We've had a healer walk on the pitch and do her thing. We've even had the latest Madame Rosina, who is a horoscope person, come along and do her thing. And we've had just about everything, even the gypsies have come.
They're painting the soles of the boots red, touching sides of a lucky coin, and hanging crucifixes on the floodlights. They were going to put them on the goalpost, but the goalkeeper hates crosses.
You know, I think you'd be an absolutely foolish person that says they don't believe.
Nothing crackpot, though, about the 127th Merseyside derby. Everton taking on Liverpool, with centre-back Glenn Keely making his debut.
King. Hansen in so fast. And leads the charge. Rush to his left. Onside. Ian Rush. 1-0 Liverpool. Brilliant goal. Marvellously made by Alan Hansen. And put away by Ian Rush with the minimum of fuss. Hansen. Oh, Keely could get caught here. Oh, he's pulled him back. And is that the goal-scoring opportunity denied? And on his debut for Everton, Glenn Keely is sent off.
So, just 32 minutes for Glenn Keely, and that was it. He was never seen in an Everton shirt again.
Rush. Deflection. Has taken it in. Ian Rush will claim the goal, his second of the match. Dalglish. Look at that, rushes through. This could be history here for Ian Rush if he scores. He's hit the post. He might score now, he has. And it's the first hat-trick in a Merseyside derby since 1935. And this is where Liverpool have made the game look so easy. They've come out of defence, got into their stride, and seem to get an extra man through. It's Ian Rush, can he score his fourth? It looks as though he has. Yes, 5-0.
So 4 goals for Ian Rush, and as if to add insult to injury, he then asked Everton's Kevin Radcliffe to run him home. But did he want to rub it in?
He never really talked about it, Ian. Getting back in the car, he never really went on about the match. I mean, that was Ian. I mean, when we went on international duty, we never ever talked about Everton and Liverpool or ourselves.
You've got to make me an offer.
As BBC football commentator John Motson warms up for a First Division Needle match, detailed plans are being laid to deprive him, the BBC and ITV of the rights to bring league football to a mass public next season.
The problem was sponsorship, not the billboard variety, but something new and evil.
This was just the last straw.
Yep, sponsors' names on shirts, whatever next. TV, of course, said it would not and would never tolerate sponsorship, even employing a bloke to take away the offending articles before cameras rolled. I mean, this was a serious business. What are we to do about things like font sizes?
The current Football Association regulations only allow for a clothing manufacturer's trademark or name, and here's one of them, to be no bigger than 2.5 square inches.
One company even tried to outbid BBC and ITV with a plan to show matches live in pubs, but everyone agreed that's just a pipe dream. Meetings went on all season, with the problem causing a fuss worthy of the European Commission itself. But then, flash, the sensational outcome.
A short while ago it was announced that a new deal has been agreed between the Football League and the television companies for showing soccer next season. This time, shirt advertising will be allowed, limited to 16 square inches on each shirt. Lettering will be kept to 2 inches high or smaller.
We were saved, and football was back where it belonged on all the channels. Or rather, both channels.
Watch ITV now.
Oh, all right, I'll switch it over.
At Watford, a football revolution was underway. Manager Graham Taylor was taking the football club back to the community. The exciting, if a little romantic notion was that whole families had once flocked to football, and at Happy Vicarage Road, they would do again. Fair enough, except that things went a little bit OTT.
Now that I'm at Liverpool and everything that's happened 17 years later, I look back and I just think this is the most outrageous thing that has ever happened. The football club had to put on a show for the fans, and we had to put on sketches, we had to put on dance routines, we put on a Graham Taylor This Is Your Life, when I had to dress up as a pregnant woman and pretend to, be his long lost lover from whenever, and that is a relationship that we had with the fans.
Now that might be quaint for the basement of the league, but Watford had not only just won promotion to the First Division, they were storming its citadels, even at one stage leading the league. Here's a match of the day, Watford v Brighton.
Turned nicely past Gatting, is it a penalty? It is. And 1-0 to Watford, and the top goal scorer gets his 11th of the season. Chance there, turned in by Barnes, turned in by John Barnes. And as they push forward from midfield, they're onside. Les Taylor. Lovely little lob, but it's there.
You couldn't argue with results, but Watford weren't alone in being direct. Their critics went for it too.
Graham Taylor is a Svengali.
Is he? Offside, yeah.
And he believes in the old-fashioned approach to the game.
Right. Short haircut and the long baggy shorts right down.
No. He's an old-fashioned style of play.
Yeah.
Graham believes in getting his players into the box.
Yeah.
And concentrating on those long balls.
Yeah, sounds as if he needs them long baggy shorts right down below the knee.
Of course, what we did do, we speeded the game up. People talk about long ball. Basically, they don't really know what they're talking about. We knew exactly what we were doing. And what we were saying to the very best clubs, we will challenge you to play well. We will challenge you to show us how good you are. Now, we knew this, that if they then accepted the challenge and showed us how we could get our bottom smacked.
And if anyone was going to smack the bottoms of the whippersnappers from Watford, it would be Liverpool. Elton John was in attendance as Dalglish and Rush shaped up against Kick and Rush.
Neil's clearance to Dalglish, beautiful turn. Oh, and on for Rush, got a perfect through ball. And what a brilliant goal. Ian Rush celebrates the goal, but Kenny Dalglish, the creator supreme.
The creator supreme? There's one in the eye for Christians everywhere.
Dalglish turned away, Rush helped him, and a lovely return ball as the 1-2 worked again. Penalty. It had to be. A sweetly struck right foot penalty by Phil Neal extends the Liverpool lead.
I think that we were comprehensively beaten in that game, but everyone used to come to Liverpool and lose then, so that was no big deal.
I think, looking back, that Graham Taylor did a remarkable job there. Not only to get Watford up, but to be challenging for the title.
So Liverpool had moved 5 points clear by the end of the year, with 4 points separating a chasing group of 7 clubs.
Years ago, this ground used to have 35 to 40,000 people in it. Where have they all gone? 22,000 season ticket holders at the time. They're not dead, they're still in Derby, they're still around. We've just got to win them back.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Look at Derek Dougan.
Then I believe that Wolverhampton Wanderers, and you can hold me to this, Wolverhampton Wanderers will change the whole structure and the whole future of football in the United Kingdom.
After a promising start to the season, Man City's John Bond is pondering his future following a nosedive down the table.
To let me know, should I stay or should I go?
But an FA Cup run starting at Brighton could provide the lift. Brighton in blue shirts.
It goes towards the unmarked Smith. Case with the shot. It deflected and it's in. Good ball in field to Ritchie again. And a fine shot. Smiley must score and has. Robinson chasing into that gap and keeping the ball in play. Case, Reed's tackle on Ritchie. Play on, says the referee. Grealish. Oh, nice skill. And a good ball too. And what a magnificent goal. Robinson the scorer, Grealish the creator. With a minute to go. Brighton break, looking for another goal with Robinson. And they get it. So Brighton finish in style.
Putting salt in the wound, 2-goal Michael Robinson was a former City player. As usual, it's torture for John Bond, who does resign.
Job satisfaction is the one big thing that I want, and I just felt that maybe I wasn't getting as much job satisfaction as I ought to.
David Pleat's Luton are at the wrong end of the table, but in one respect, they are leading the way.
Luton now have a colony of 7 black players, seen here practising their skills in the company of a Yugoslav, Radian Tish.
There could be yellow faces. I mean, the fact is that the only criteria is, are they better players than what you've already got when you see them play?
Well, we've said it before and we'll say it again. In the 1980s, you only found out against one side.
And it's run on for Walsh. And here comes Hill. And Steen! It's there! Brian Steen! And there's a dog on the pitch, which should amuse Bruce Grobbelaar, who always enjoys a slight diversion. Well, he's determined to play outside right. Here's Rush. Fields for handball, still Rush. It's there! And Liverpool have equalised. And it's Neil. Sooners will let that run. Alan Kennedy. It's in. 2-1 to Liverpool. Souness. And again Souness. What a goal!
Fantastic goal. And now here's some real nostalgia. A Manchester derby coming up, and City are hopeful.
We don't like it if they're doing better than us, and they get the raving needle when we're doing better than they are. At the moment, they're up, we're down. but it can change.
Looking for Hartford. Moses for company. That's been one of the strongest contests so far. Corner. Two very much with eyes on each other. Reeves, McDonald, Reeves, Kevin Reeves. Koppel. That's a good cross, and it's in. Stapleton, 1-1. Stapleton! And he beats Kevin Bond, he got in front of him. And the ball just beat the left hand of Joe Corrigan.
United were now emerging as Liverpool's main contenders.
You had a lot of experienced international players, you know, people like Ray Wilkins, Gordon McQueen, Frank Stapleton, you know, all the way through the centre of the team as well. And, you know, we did feel that we could challenge Liverpool.
United are about to discover how close they are as they face Liverpool in the first domestic final of the year, the Milk Cup.
The fans have parted with over £1 million to see whether Liverpool can become the first club to win this competition 3 years running, or whether Manchester United can win just their second important trophy since 1968. McQueen looks for Whiteside, took it down beautifully, turned away from Hansen. Whiteside, what a fantastic goal! Norman Whiteside. Lee, again the outlet is the fullback, Kennedy. It's in!
So Liverpool equalise, but look out for a peculiar celebration from United's number 3, Arthur Albiston. If ever a man had another player in the sweep.
Here's Dalglish. Shot struck Macari. Kennedy. Whelan. And again, Whelan scored it! Brilliant goal! Ronnie Whelan, who got 2 last year against Spurs, has scored the second for Liverpool today.
For Liverpool boss Paisley, the victory was extra sweet. It was likely to be his last Wembley final.
And what a good idea that he should lead the team up.
The players decided that if we won the trophy that day, that they would send Bob up to get the trophy. I think it was Grahamson went over to Bob and said, by the way, you're going to receive this. And he went, no, he said, you're going to receive it. It probably told you something about the way that every player at that football club felt about Bob Paisley.
One of the most emotional moments, surely, in recent Wembley history.
By Easter, Liverpool was 16 points ahead. Pundits predicted they might win it.
How is the league? Is it number 14? We're invincible, know what I mean. It's for victory evermore. We're the Reds and we're ready to score.
Yes,
What can we say?
They eventually had the luxury of collecting the trophy with 2 games still to go. Bob Paisley's record was 13 trophies in 9 years as manager, but he could never be fazed by events in football. He remained the same down-to-earth Durham miner who first joined the club back in 1939.
I mean, guarantee every time he went for a meal, he always ended up with soup, and his tie would win his soup.
We're in a hotel somewhere and he was making a speech, and the sun was in his eyes. He was going over to pull the curtains together, and as he's done that, the whole lot's kind of, it was like a sketch at some of these sitcoms, all things come on top of him, and he's fighting to get free of these curtains on top of his head.
Bob was a man of few words, and when he did speak, nobody could really understand him. Very canny. In fact, very Kenny.
I don't understand him. He said he's got trouble with me. Well, goes both ways.
He is a bit hard to understand, I would think, in team meetings and the like, isn't he? He's a bit hard to understand.
Paisley won virtually everything from Manager of the Year to 3 European Cups to no fewer than 6 championships. And at his retirement bash, we were afforded a rare glimpse at something other than that "Welcome to Anfield" sign.
People talk about other managers being great managers, but there's only one, isn't there, if you look at his record? I mean, he achieved more than anybody has and anyone ever will do.
It's a long way to go.
Over at Old Trafford, United were hopefully warming up for a second Wembley appearance, this time in the FA Cup.
We know.
And Ron does assure me he's going to be brewing up some trouble for Arsenal on Saturday.
It's probably the most important game I've ever taken part in. Now, I tend to say that every Saturday, to be perfectly honest to you, Dave, but...
You mean it this time?
I do.
Villa Park was the setting, with Arsenal out to revenge their exit by United from the same stage of the Milk Cup.
It's a good ball by John Hollins to Ricks. Robson is again well forward for Arsenal, and Bailey comes to meet him, and here comes Petrovic, and Robson's in there, and so is Woodcock. Yes, he will surely claim he got the touch before it crossed.
They were beating us 1-0 at half-time, a right scrambly goal. And yet, funnily enough, I never felt worried. In fact, I went in at half-time, I said to the boys, actually, all you've got to do is play as well as you've done in the first half, and there's no way they can live with you.
Grimes. Orbiston making a run forward down the left. Here comes Brian Robson. He's in with a chance. Yes! The Manchester United captain has equalised. Free kick to Manchester United. Grimes. Orbiston. Oh, Grimes is onside, and so is Whiteside here. Oh, I say! It's amazing! And Norman Whiteside saw his opportunity. He came from an inside left position. Onside, said the linesman. The volley with his left foot, and he's not 18 years old until May the 7th.
Ah, you do know you can't mention Norman Whiteside without mentioning Norman Whiteside's age, don't you?
And here he is, not 17 until the 7th of May. And Norman Whiteside, 17 years old.
Only 16.
A very happy afternoon indeed for the 17-year-old from Belfast.
Still only 16.
What a fantastic goal by the 17-year-old.
He was an 18-year-old, or 17-year-old as he was at then, a 17-year-old man.
Despite this, well, song, Brighton also had made it to the Cup semi-finals, where they met Sheffield Wednesday at Highbury. A belter of a free kick by Jimmy Case opened the scoring. Then a right old scramble in the Brighton box ended with Yugoslav Ante Maricevic volleying home from a full 1 yard. Brighton captain Steve Fozzie Foster then displayed his aerial dominance to nod down a goal kick and mount the decisive Brighton attack. Case influential as ever as he sets up Gordon Smith, who found himself having to sacrifice his own chances of glory in favour of striking partner Michael Robinson, who sends Brighton rocking into the FA Cup final.
It's a great thing for the club, great for the town, you know, and we've been having a rough ride this season, but I've kept playing football, believing in what I feel is right, and we've got this result. I still can't believe it.
But success was tempered by their extremely precarious league position. A loss against fellow strugglers Man City, and Brighton would be in the cup final, but out of the First Division.
There are 3 in the centre for City. One of them is Dennis Tuitt jumping now. The ball comes back to Reeves. It may run on for Baker, or indeed for Power. McDonald now. Reeves with the flick. Oh, yes! Kevin Reeves scores for Manchester City. A goal which could be priceless to them, and one which could send Brighton down. And the FA Cup finalists are relegated.
There's another place, another time, touching many hearts.
It was in the fixtures coming out for the next season that we really realised we were relegated, because the cup fever had taken over. We got relegated and nobody noticed.
Manchester City lived on for another life or death struggle against Luton Town, who were taken to a health farm to ease their relegation tension.
I had letters from some religious organisations suggesting that we'll finish up bottom of the league because you deserve no more, you're going to these massage parlours.
So it was win or bust for Pleat's freshly pampered players as they visited Main Road, with City themselves needing a draw for survival.
5 minutes left. Steen drove it low against Caton. And Steen again. And he gets the cross in. And Williams has come. Antish! Oh, it's there! They've done it! Ruddy Antish! 4 minutes from the end. David Pleat off the... City have a corner in the last minute. And McDonald with Godden. And Kinsey! They'll be asking the referee, Luton, how much longer he's going to add on. Forward by Caton. Bond, Kinsey. And that's it! Amazing act of escapology here by Luton.
The cup final and two large questions. Firstly, Val Lloyd, a fabulous ex-beauty queen, and yet she chose to live her life with Brighton boss Jimmy Melia. Got that? He pulled her. Shouldn't she be with someone like...
Now, Val, what sort of outfit are you going to be wearing on the big day?
It's a two-piece silk blue suit with a white collar and a white sash, which I tie into a bow, and matching white shoes and handbag.
Good. The other talking point was Brighton's extravagant decision to fly to the match in a helicopter.
To fly over the place before you're actually going to, you know, go down there and play and see the supporters filtering around the ground. It was fantastic.
We were actually on the club coach and we saw their helicopter because the cameras were on it, and we actually saw their helicopter flying in above us. Like, we said, wouldn't it be a laugh now if the thing fell out the sky? What would we do for the afternoon?
Fortunately, the Seagulls had landed, and Manchester United were in for an extremely busy and eventful afternoon.
Little Jimmy Melia on the far side, still without a contract, and Big Ron Atkinson party to one of the toughest contracts in football because it demands that he brings a major trophy to Manchester United. It's fast and furious in this opening quarter of an hour. Grealish square to Smiley. Number 8, Howlett. Chipping one in for Gordon Smith. It's there! Gordon Smith for Brighton after 14 minutes. Here's Duxbury. Nice touch back inside by Davis. Duxbury. Right side, Stapleton! Manchester United equalise after 55 minutes. Right side. Murin. He might just get Wilkins away on this side of the field. And Orbiston's made a run from the back, and Wilkins has curled one, and that's absolutely magnificent.
The shock of scoring this exquisite goal eventually sent Ray Wilkins mad. No, bald.
Case with the corner. He's pulled it back to Grealish. Little touch for Stevens! 2-2! Gary Stevens equalises with 3 minutes to go.
And with just seconds remaining, the most notorious moment of the game.
And Case through the middle for Michael Robinson. Can he beat Moran? He can. Can he beat McQueen? He can. There's somebody to his right. It's Smith. And Bailey is saved. What an amazing opportunity for Brighton to win the cup, and how sadly wasted.
And I'm looking at it, I thought, I don't believe this. We've been pipped for the league. We've been pipped in extra time for the League Cup, and we're going to get done with the last kick of the season. I really couldn't believe it when all of a sudden Gary Bailey said he saved it, but somehow or other I think he sat on it.
But it was only as I was coming back towards the halfway line, waiting for the kick out, the ball to be kicked downfield when the final whistle blew, that I realised the enormity of it, that it was right in the last kick of the game almost, that we could have won the match. I had no thoughts late at that point about how it was going to come back to haunt me in later years, as it has done.
5 days later, cup final, the sequel.
We always felt the first game was their chance, and we were always fairly confident that we could win, the replay.
Ormiston again, low in for Davis, who got a good position. Robson! That's the goal that Manchester United wanted from their captain. Oh, McQueen was doing some climbing there, surely. This is Davis. Turned it in for Whiteside.
Oh no, Whiteside scored. You do know what this means.
And you can throw the comics away now, because this fellow at just 18 has put the fiction writers out of business. Muren takes the kick. And the header by Robson finds Stapleton. McQueen made a touch, and it's been thrown in. Brian Robson gets his second, and Manchester United's third. Now, Arnold Muren hasn't taken a penalty before for either Ipswich or Manchester United. But he scores with his left foot and makes it 4-0. So, Britain's most expensive footballer, the captain of England, scorer of 2 goals tonight, Brian Robson, goes up the Wembley steps to receive the first major honour of his career as a senior professional, followed by the other Manchester United players. And what a reception they're going to get.
So Liverpool and Manchester United finally managed to shake off Watford and Brighton. Yeah, it seems a long time ago, doesn't it? But British football was on the verge of some very big changes indeed. Not all of them on the pitch.
Ready for some